Alright, so we're back for match 4. We're on the play. I think I'm going to keep this hand. Turn 1 Deathrite Shaman, turn 2 Thalia Wasteland is one of the most broken starts you can have with Maverick, actually. I'm going to get the Savannah as well, just to kind of smooth out the mana. Alright, Lightning Bolt. I think I'm just going to go for Thalia here. If he dazes me, that's alright. I can play another one the following turn. Looks like we're playing against Grixis Delver. Probably. Maybe Grixis Control. Alright, he dismembers Thalia. I'm just going to play our other Thalia. Unfortunately, we have not hit any more land drops. So if he has a Wasteland, we could get pretty screwed here. Alright, Young Pyromancer. I'm going to play Scrib Ranger, because I can also play Mother of Runes if this resolves. And then next turn I can have 3 mana to try and play a Knight of the Reliquary. Usually it's pretty hard for these guys to find, you know, that many pieces of removal in the early turns of the game. Usually they just cast 1 or 2, like Lightning Bolt and Dismember, as we've seen, and then they have to like dig for more. There's a chance they might not find it. We just have to hope that our board can overpower his board before Young Pyromancer gets too out of control. Scrib Ranger and Mother of Runes do pretty great work together by being able to protect something twice in a turn. Alright, he found another Lightning Bolt for that Mother of Runes. That's not bad. I think I will block here. I don't want that Pyromancer to get too crazy. The more tokens he makes, it's definitely good for him. So I've drawn another Thalia. I think I'm going to play that. Try and stop him from cantripping and casting creatures in the same turn, hopefully. Can't play around days there, so we just have to eat it. Alright, so now if we don't find another land in the next couple turns, this is going to get way out of control, and we're probably going to lose this game. We've drawn 6 cards and haven't found another land, so that's kind of unlucky. We don't really have anything we can do with that forest, but it is a step in the right direction. Gonna Zenith for Dryad Arbor here. Alright, so if we don't draw a land next turn, we are dead. And even if we do draw land, things are not looking that great. Alright, so we just have to scoop. Kind of unfortunate that that's how the game played out, but that's magic. Gonna bring in the Abrupt Decays and the Zealous Persecutions. Gonna board out Sylvan Library because I think it's too slow. Gaddock Teague is not good enough in the matchup. Kasali Pride Mage doesn't have too many targets, so I'm gonna board out one of those. And let's see, what's the fourth card that I want to board out? Ooze is not the best in this matchup, but I think I might just cut the other Kasali Pride Mage. Ooze can be good in the late game, I guess. And we are bringing in a couple of Abrupt Decay to handle any small hateful permanents that he might have, so the Kasali Pride Mage is less necessary. I think this looks good. We will play first. This hand is fine. I'm going to keep it. It's a little vulnerable to Wasteland, so I think what I might do, because I really want to have black mana for the Zealous Persecution, but I do want to have permanent sources of mana. I think the best option for me here is to get a Savannah, and I'm going to Zenith for an Arbor. Dryad Arbor. Now I can play around Daze better in the following turns, and if he Wastelands me, I can still hit my curve. At least next turn. So next turn my plan is to play Stoneforge Mystic, followed by Mother of Runes, and Stoneforge will probably grab a Batterskull. Alright, so he's got a Bolt for our Dryad Arbor. So I could play around Daze here and just play the Mother of Runes. Or I could play the Stoneforge Mystic. I think I'm going to play Mother of Runes and hope to play around Daze. Post board they have more removal spells, so they're probably going to be able to answer this Mother of Runes. We'll see. Alright, it's a young Pyromancer. So I do have the option of just Zealous Persecutioning now, but I think maybe better to let him try and spam some spells so that we could possibly get more value out of the Zealous Persecution later. That said, he knows about the Zealous Persecution, so if he finds a Cabal Therapy, he can therapy it out of our hand. I think I'm just going to play Stoneforge Mystic around Daze here. And I'm going to grab Batterskull. So he's going to need a Cabal Therapy or a lot of removal spells. Because now that I have an active Mother of Runes, he's going to have to spend more than one removal spell to kill a creature. Alright, so he's probably playing a Stifle version because I think Stifle versions are the most popular version of Grixis Delver. Maybe I'll just go ahead and Zealous Persecution first. He's gonna brainstorm. I set a stop during his upkeep because if he doesn't do anything for the rest of this turn, I think I want to try and violin the Batter Skull during his upkeep so that if he has to use Stifle, then it's going to take away one of his mana for the turn. Alright, so he Flusterstorms our Zealous Persecution. I don't know if Flusterstorm is the best card to bring in against Maverick. I guess it's good against Swords to Plowshares, Green Sun Zenith, and Zealous Persecution in this case. But I don't know if that's the best choice of cards to bring in against Maverick. We have a lot more creatures than we do spells. But this player here is obviously talented. So I'm not going to question his choices. If he does crack his fetch here, though, I'm snap viling in my Batter Skull. So the best thing for him to stifle, if he does have stifle, would be the Living Weapon trigger. It looks like he does have stifle, and he is going to stifle that. Well, we are almost at 5 mana though, so we're going to be able to start just equipping that to a creature soon. Next turn I could play Knight of the Reliquary and Noble Hierarch. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Even if I draw a land, I don't really want to try to... Well, I guess we'll see what our opponent does here. Alright, he's got a Deathrite Shaman. So since he only has 1 mana up, if I draw a land, I think I will try and equip the Batter Skull to the Stoneforge Mystic. Because if he just has a bolt, I can just give my guy protection from red. I'm just going to go ahead and take this damage. No reason to expose myself to, getting Swords to Plowshare. So I'm going to crack this fetch first of all. Try to equip the Batter Skull to the Stoneforge. Now things get a lot easier for us. We just swing, gain a bunch of life. I think things are looking pretty good. The one thing I am worried about is Ancient Grudge, but this swing in the life totals is going to be so great that I'll probably be able to just overpower him. And now he also can't attack because of my Vigilant Stoneforge Mystic lifelinking guy. Next turn I play a Noble Hierarch, and then I even get an Exalted trigger as I attack with my Stoneforge Mystic. Diabolic Edict is pretty good. So if I protect the Stoneforge Mystic, and sacrifice Mother of Runes, that kind of leaves some of my guys exposed later. But if I sacrifice the Stoneforge Mystic, then I have to spend a lot of mana to equip the Batterskull to something else. I'm just going to give my Stoneforge Mystic protection from black. And then I'm going to sacrifice my Mother of Runes. This way it can't be dismembered or abrupt decayed. Don't know what my opponent has in that deck, but Greenstone Zenith, that's a pretty good draw. So he exiles my Dryad Arbor. For a Vendilion Click. Alright. He'll probably take the... He could take the Knight, he could take the Zenith. Okay, he has taken the Knight. I'm going to play Verdant Catacombs, then I'm going to play Noble Hierarch. Now I'm going to attack and get an Exalted trigger. So I can Zenith a Knight, which leaves my Batterskull exposed to something like Ancient Grudge. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. That seems like a powerful play regardless. Now we've got a Knight of the Reliquary. Diabolic Edict. Sacrifice the Noble Hierarch. I could have fetched Dryad Arbor. Oh no, I couldn't have because I already did that, and it's just exiled. So I'll just sack the Noble Hierarch, that's fine. We've drawn another land. I guess I'll just attack with the Stoneforge. This is fine. I'm going to Karakas his Vendilion Click back to his hand, so I just eat a bunch of elemental tokens. Alright, he's got a lightning bolt. That's fine. I get to gain a bunch of life, and now I think I'm going to equip my Batterskull to my knight, and I guess I'll wasteland him. I don't know how many Diabolic Edicts he could possibly have. I guess he could probably also have a Snapcaster Mage or something along those lines. But I'm just going to pass the turn here. Yeah, I think I'll wasteland him. Probably throw away a Savannah or a basic forest or something. Guess I'll wasteland his Volcanic Island. That's a pretty good draw. Now I can completely waste him off of black mana too. Alright, he finally concedes. I'm just going to leave everything the same. I don't see any reason to change any of my cards around. We did get pretty lucky that match that he wasn't able to find removal for the Stoneforge Mystic until it was too late. Or I guess he probably had removal, but he had to wait until he found the Diabolic Edict so he could kill the Mother of Runes, so on and so forth. And the equipment just made the game unwinnable for him. This matchup in particular is one of the main reasons I like Batterskull right now. Here we go. Alright, this hand seems fine. I can fetch a basic land and play my Noble Hierarch on the first turn. I can Abrupt Decay something the second turn. Alright, Deathrite Shaman. Sure, not a big deal. I mean, Deathrite Shaman is one of the best opening plays they can have versus us. Turn 1 Deathrite Shaman on the play. Alright, young Pyromancer. If he has a Cabal Therapy in his hand, this could be pretty bad for us. He could strip our two most powerful cards, probably Abrupt Decay and Scavenging Ooze, or maybe Sword of Fire and Ice, I'm not really sure. He'll definitely take the Abrupt Decay if he finds Cabal Therapy, that's for sure. So the question is going to be, am I more worried about Young Pyromancer just proceeding to make a ton of tokens, or am I more worried about Deathrite Shaman allowing him to deny me mana and also ramping his stuff? Alright, so he takes the Ooze, and he'll probably take the Abrupt Decay. And things are looking a little grim for us. Our best bet is to... Oh, okay, he takes Mother of Runes. So he probably has more creatures in his hand, so he's not worried if we really Abrupt Decay the Pyromancer, or the Deathrite Shaman, I guess. Jesus. He's had a lot of spells that turn. So I have an option here. I could decay his Shaman. I could just kind of develop my mana and maybe play out Sword of Fire and Ice. I actually kind of like just playing Sword of Fire and Ice here. But if I don't fetch a land that can produce black, I can't Abrupt Decay anything in the future. So to play around Wasteland here, I have to get Plains. I don't think I can afford... This is very interesting. I think I have to Abrupt Decay something this turn, so I'm going to get a Scrub land. Now the question is going to be, what do I want to get rid of? Do I want to get rid of the Deathrite Shaman or the Young Pyromancer? If I draw a Zealous Persecution down the line, that would obviously be great against the Young Pyromancer. Stoneforge Mystic would also be pretty good against the Young Pyromancer. But I'm just kind of worried I'm going to get tempoed out before that happens, so I'm just going to decay the Shaman. If he's casting multiple spells per turn, that really favors him. And this way he has to choose between casting more spells or denying me mana with his Wasteland. I do have to take 6 damage here and go to 12, which is kind of bad. But at least next turn, if he doesn't Wasteland us, we'll be able to play our Sword of Fire and Ice around days. Okay, he's got another Deathrite Shaman. I really need to find a Zealous Persecution or something. Although I'm not sure that that would even do it at this point because... I think I have to play the Sword of Fire and Ice here. If he has days, then we lose anyway. Yeah. So I just don't think there was anything really we were able to do this game. He had the Deathrite Shaman, Young Pyromancer, Wasteland, Probe, Therapy, Nut Draw, and you know, regardless of what kind of start we had, unless we got super ahead on board really quick and played a Thalia or something like that, it just wasn't going to be enough. I mean, he was able to do all that on his second turn of the game. Even though we drew a GTA and we have enough mana to play and equip it, we don't have enough mana to actually get anything going with it. I'm going to sacrifice my Horizon Canopy to draw a card, but I really don't think there's anything that's going to get us out of this. Yeah, we have to concede. We're only at 4. Well, alright, he had a pretty nutty draw. It's definitely a matchup that I would consider to be even, if not slightly favorable for us, but there are going to be times like that where there's just nothing we can do. I will see you guys for the 5th match.